Hi, my name's Hannah. Thank you so much for coming to my channel where I talk all things costuming, cosplay, and live events. Today we are talking about the 501st Legion going to a baseball game, more specifically the Columbus Clippers. This is going to be a little bit of inside info on the event. This is my first time at Huntington Park ever. It's the first time I've been to a baseball game since I was about 7 years old. If you're a fan of Toledo Mud Hens, what's up? That's the only other baseball game I've been to. But anyway, so I was pretty excited about this day. I have been exhausted, like absolutely exhausted from work. I did a lot of traveling. So, kind of at the last minute, I decided to not wear a costume. I decided I was going to be a handler, which I don't think I've ever really talked about on here. We love our handlers on the 501st. They are essential to us, but I typically wear a costume. I don't typically go if I'm not wearing a costume. But again, like this was one that I was looking forward to. So I decided to be a handler. And like basically what it means to be a handler is you're basically in one of our club racing shirts or some other like blatantly Star Wars, like I'm a part of this group, something that's like very clear that you're with the group. You're looking out for the people that are in costume. So you're making sure that like everybody's okay. If they're like not feeling well, you're there to help escort them back to like a dressing room or away out of public eye. If there's any sort of costume malfunction, you can be there as a set of hands to help, like if it's like a snap that's undone or something, you can be right there to help do that. And you're also just basically guiding them from the changing area to wherever you're in front of the public facing locations. Also, a lot of these costumes you cannot see very well in, like specifically helmeted costumes. So sometimes you're literally being like, okay, left, okay, there's a step here, watch your step. Okay, yep, just keep going. Or like other times you'll just be like walking in front of a group because some of the costumes you can't see like below you, like if a little kid runs up. So we try to be in front of the group so nobody gets stepped on or knocked over. So basically, yeah, it's a little overview of that. This one, we had some people getting a little crazy. So obviously it's a baseball game. There's kids hopped up on sugar. There's Dippin' Dots and all sorts of other sugary things. And there's also alcohol with adults. Yeah, so to stir all that together and it can get really crazy really quickly. So there was definitely a couple moments I was happy to be there and be supportive of my friends in costumes. We had about 20 people in costume total for the event and a handful of us in handlers, like maybe 4. And it was an absolutely beautiful day. I'm talking like sunny mid 60s. You couldn't have asked for a better day to be at a baseball game. It felt like truly like Americana, like idyllic American day. A little bit more about handlers. We don't always have formal handlers, especially if it is a smaller event or if there's a lot of people in costumes that don't have a helmet on. So, like, if you are being an Imperial officer, you might be a handler for that day, even though you are in a costume, but your visibility is not obstructed at all. So, you'll be kind of a leader. Specifically on this day, I relied a lot on those non-helmeted characters. I could like call their name and then be like, "Yep, let's go. We're going. we're moving the group. Let's go." Um, but yes, so sometimes at smaller events we don't even have formal handlers like this. But Huntington Park is actually a pretty big place, and Star Wars night in particular is always very very popular at this for the Clippers. There were so many kids dressed up and adults dressed up. So that was wonderful. Like I love seeing that as a person that loves to go to events and like dress to the theme. Anytime I see other people doing it at a Star Wars event, I'm like, yes, more, please. I need more of this. I will also say that this was technically a LFL event, is what we call it, which LFL stands for Lucasfilm Limited. And that basically means that the Clippers paid Lucasfilm for the rights to advertise us and have us there. So what that means for us, it doesn't really affect us. We don't touch money at all. Basically, we just have to have our costumes specifically correct, like no variants at all. So in other videos, sometimes I'll have like my Jawa baby with me or my little pouch of gears and I'll give out gears. That would not be allowed. If I was in costume, I wouldn't be allowed to have those at this event specifically because it has that Lucasfilm Limited tag on it. Just a little inside fun tip. But some of our other local ones, like if we show up and help like at a food drive or something like that, those typically are not Lucasfilm Limited events. So I will have my baby and I'll have my gears and get to have a lot of fun. So during the like pregame type stuff where we were just like out around the park, audiences, taking pictures, things like that, I am glad that I was handling because there was one child who was very excited and probably didn't realize his own strength, that like literally ran up to one of my friends and a stormtrooper and like body checked him to the point where me and a couple of the other handlers immediately were like right up in there like, are you okay? And the kid was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't, he apologized, he didn't mean to do anything. But it's things like that that we look out for, making sure everybody's safe. And not only safe, like thankfully he didn't get knocked over, or the person in the costume didn't get knocked over or anything, but not only is he safe, is his equipment that he's spent over 1,000, sometimes a couple thousand on, is that okay, right? Stormtroopers, I don't have one, but I think it's definitely 1,000. Some of the other bigger costumes like Darth Vader and stuff can be a couple $1,000s, of an investment to bring those characters to life. So not only are we looking out for their safety, but we're also making sure that people aren't roughhousing them too much. And we did see a little bit of that. But, safety in numbers. And as soon as we kind of approached right at that moment, like the other guests were like, oh yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. It's like, great, thank you. But again, like still so much fun, and that was just one moment. But that's also why we like to stick together in groups. So after the start of the game, we had taken some people up, and a couple people came back down. So anytime people were like, okay, I need a break, I'm gonna go up, I'll take them up, make sure they get the right elevator, the right door, everything, because it can be a little confusing. And then we came back down, and we're like opposites in the park. There's one group over here, one group over here, and then like maybe one or two people wandering. And it's like with something like this, safety is so huge, that we wanted to make sure we had at least one like non-helmeted person with every group. And we did. So we did a lot of photo ops, and we even got to go down onto the field, which is amazing. We got to take a really nice picture with the Clippers logo, and they painted a little stormtrooper mask on the field as well, and I thought that was a really nice touch. Then on our way back, we got grabbed by some of the like promo people for the Clippers. And so this group that I had, it was myself, a stormtrooper, an Imperial officer, and I think Commander Cody from Clones. We got to, not them, not me, I was just walking with them to make sure that they were safe. Got to like hand out swag. There was a point where they threw out balls into the audience, and not like a hard baseball, they were like soft, more like a stress ball type thing, but they were branded. So our Imperial officer friend who could do stairs walked down and got to throw those at the audience, and that was a lot of fun. Our Cody and our stormtrooper were not doing stairs very well, so they got to stay at the top and just wave at people, which is great. People were still excited and smiling and waving and coming and taking pictures, so that was great. There were literally people and cameras and phones everywhere. I am sure I'm in the back or on the side of so many people's pictures, so if you're one of those people and I'm in your pictures, I am so sorry. It was so crowded and so crazy. I didn't want to get too far away from any of the people in costume in the event that somebody else got body checked, or if somebody started feeling sick, I could get to them quickly and we get it out of there, right? I will say I was very sad that I did not bring my Jawa costume. Again, I almost always wear my costume even when it's like hot and gross outside. This time I was just like, I'm too exhausted, I cannot put the costume on. But I'm really sad because there was a kid maybe like 10 or younger, dressed up in a full Jawa like mask and everything, and I saw this person and I just like wanted to cry. I was like, I'm so sorry, I could have met you in my Jawa costume. But I'm sure they had a great time meeting all the other characters too. But that was a really sad moment for me. So I guess that just goes to show me myself that I need to be in costume, not just handling. I will say the Clippers treated us really, really well. It is not expected, but it's really nice. They let us park in a staff parking lot and didn't charge us for parking, which is amazing. And then they gave us little food vouchers so we could grab some food. And it was just a really great experience overall. Afterwards, many people in our group went out to eat at a nearby restaurant, and we got to spend more time with each other and talk about conventions and other nerd things we have done and want to do. And it just made me again so thankful for this group, like the opportunities and friendships that we've made along the way are really quite priceless. But that brings me to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, or share the video with a friend. It really helps me and supports this channel so much. And thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.